Everything shared here is for educational purposes and personal reflection only, not medical advice. Always work with your own healthcare provider for individual care. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Inner Script podcast. I have such a fun guest here today. I have Rikki Robinson. She is a medical esthetician at Aesthetics in San Francisco. I have been to her plenty of times when I was going through it with my skin flare, as she knows. And she specializes in corrective facials, customized regimens that support long-term skin health. And I will say she was also certified in Reiki, which is an energy healing practice. Anyone that knows me, if this is your first time tuning in, I am very into nervous system regulation, energy practices. So I was like, she gets it. This woman is for me. So Rikki, welcome. How's it going?
I'm good. Thank you for having me, Stephanie. I'm really excited.
Okay, so Rikki, tell me about how and why you became a Reiki practitioner and then an esthetician. I want to hear that story.
So actually, I became a Reiki practitioner to help me deal with my own trauma. I was going through a really challenging time in my life, exiting college, or actually, I didn't quite finish college at that point. I was looking for something and I didn't know what it was. And I had gone down this path of massage therapy. And in that training, we also started to explore energy work. And I realized how much peace I found when we were practicing that. And so I decided to go into a deeper dive with that. And I realized a lot of the stuff I wasn't able to address in talk therapy was actually being released and worked on through this energy healing. And that's when I became a Reiki practitioner. And the master that I worked under, he explained it as like, we all have the ability to heal ourselves. And I truly see that through Reiki. And it's the best thing I could have done for myself is give myself that gift.
Yes. And that's something I say to my patients all the time is like, we really are our own healer. So it's such a beautiful way that you just said that. And then what brought you into being an esthetician and skincare and all the things?
I was actually a social worker. That's what I ended up going down that route. I was working on the side as a massage therapist as well, just for my own personal growth and balance because social work was so draining for me. And I got pregnant with my son, who's now 11. And my husband recognized that I wasn't really happy with what I was doing. And he really suggested that I take the time to find something that I felt complete with. I wanted to lean into massage therapy, but I also recognized at the age I was at, I was already over 30 at that point, that longevity of that career might not be what I want it to be at that point. And so I was like, well, what else can I do? I've spent all these hours learning massage and what else can I do with this? And I was like, I love skin. People, were complimenting me on my skin. It's something that just felt like a natural transition for me. And I went down to the Aveda school here in San Francisco and it felt like home. So that's when I started on that journey. At first I went in and I was like, okay, I don't know if I'm going to do this. I actually went and looked into somatic therapy and was like, oh, maybe I want to go that route instead. But I recognized with having a child that I wanted to be very present for my child. And I knew I'm starting on a whole nother program of very intensive studying and a lot of clinical hours that I wasn't going to be able to be as attentive to my child as I wanted to. So aesthetics it was. And I have never looked back and I love it. It allows me to incorporate everything that I've learned, the energy work, the massage, also the interpersonal communication with people. It's my happy place.
And we're definitely going to get into kind of the more practical things. But since you kind of brought up somatic therapy, energy healing, I'm curious, are you able to tell if somebody comes in with a skin complaint, whether it's acne, hyperpigmentation, scarring, whatever? Can you tell or know, or how does stress actually show up on the skin? And can you kind of tell the difference between somebody who's coming in regulated versus chronically stressed?
Yes, it is very apparent. I will say some people tolerate stress better than others. But some people, it literally shows in their skin, in their body. You can see the inflammation. I'm really sensitive to energy too, so I can literally feel it coming off of them when they're unsettled. I've had people sit in my chair, on my chair and literally look at me and just like start crying because they finally feel like safe in a space to be able to express themselves. I think the relationship between an esthetician or even your cosmetologist and you it's a very unique one. And we hear a lot of things that I think people don't even tell their own families or their partners, even sometimes their therapist. So yes, I think stress definitely plays out. You see it with inflammation, you see a lot of redness in the skin or even like a bloated puffiness. I've had a couple clients recently where I've noticed like a yeast influx on the skin that almost plays out similar to fungal acne. And when you talk to them about their stories, you can see that they're in this very tumultuous time in their life. And you realize that their whole system is not regulated from their gut to their mental health, and they are not grounded. And I've actually saw a client recently that was in a major influx of stress, and we've been working together for a couple years, and she followed some of my suggestions with balancing out her gut health because I really feel like her gut health was also affecting her mental health. I don't know for sure because I'm not a doctor, but from my experiences, I could see this, and I was like, whoa, this girl is really going through some things. And once she came back in the other week and everything was so calm, like her energy was calm. Her skin was like a whole nother person walked through the door. And I was like, what did you do? She's like, I followed what you said. I balanced my gut health and everything just started calming down. She's like, my skin started to clear. I also took suggestions on, she was over layering products, things along those lines, living in a humid environment and creating almost like a hot pocket on her face.
Just perfect area to just grow everything.
Grow everything and just let it thrive. So it was really reaffirming to me that I'm like, okay, trust your gut too and let your clients know what you see in them, and also, reinforce in them when you do see them making healthy habits and making change. And yeah, but there is a big balance. A lot of times when we talk about their skin and especially like acne in general, I do bring up the lifestyle aspect, and finding a balance and stress is a big part of that too. Having other outlets, because a lot of us do act out on ourselves when we're stressed. And a lot of that happens with skin picking is a big part of that too. So just trying to be that support and letting them know that they're not alone in it and that we all go through these cycles of influx, and yeah, that it's temporary and we'll work through it.
Yeah. No, that's such a good answer. It's because it's so frustrating when there's something going on with your skin because, there's a lot of things we can do topically, absolutely, but it's really kind of the inner layer that we have to address and dive deeper into. So it's definitely, you're using your intuition almost too, it sounds like.
Clients have to use their intuition too, because we're not with them on the day-to-day. So you have to really start to be mindful of your habits as well to see what is triggering you. For some people, it is diet. As soon as they eat a cheese board, they're having a charcuterie. The next morning they wake up and they're like, oh, my whole face was broken out. I'm flushed all through here. Yeah. So let's note that down and maybe relate that. Or other times when we're high stress, people are like, oh, no, it's definitely what I'm eating. I'm like, yeah, when we're stressed, we tend to sink into comfort foods, which tend to be inflammatory foods, which then throw off this whole other balance in our lifestyle. And then it's a slippery slope that a lot of us go into.
So kind of going a little bit more into this, do you believe the face can kind of hold unresolved stress or emotion?
Yes, I do. Because, well, for some people, it can be a reoccurring pimple or lesion that they don't realize when or where it came from. But sometimes when you start having going in deeper into the conversation, then they realize wait, that kind of correlates with, a partner. For instance, I had one client that her breakouts were partner related. It wasn't only the stress of their relationship, but also her partner sabotaging her skincare and mental health, so it was all correlated. But what I too saw her recently after some time because she had been away due to injury. And it was like, girl, you could tell he is out of your life because your skin looks amazing. You look amazing. You could literally see the glow coming from inside of her. And she was coming in every 3 weeks for facials because her breakouts were so bad. To manage her acne, we were doing extractions regularly, just trying to get her clear. And as he started to exit her life, you just noticed how she was able to space out the facials. And then once he was completely out of her life, her skin literally, the inflammation, everything left, and it cleared just beautifully. There's very limited pigment left, everything, because I really feel her whole system was able to detox itself.
Just to go off of that, I started seeing you. Well, I started seeing you before I had my acne flare, but then I came to see you because I had this persistent acne on the right side of my jaw, and kind of it went up to my cheek and sometimes here on my, like the side of my face. And I did everything, and it was finally once I regulated my nervous system and really found alignment and like joy in my life, my skin healed within like a week. It was wild. And the things we did, like we did a lot of microneedling, I was using like vitamin C, very like minimal products. And that definitely helped with fine lines, my hyperpigmentation, but that acne would not go away until I addressed my shit. Like seriously, it was like a constant reminder of like, nope, nope, nope. You got to address your shit, Stephanie. So I think that's just such an important thing. And I tell my patients too, usually with skin things, there's just a lot of the times suppressed emotions there that need to get out. And I actually see it a lot with anger and resentment, just very like red, angry rashes. I see a lot, which obviously, you guys, there's a time and a place to be angry and resentful. But I just think your body is just trying to tell you to release all of that.
Let it go. Yeah. Because that's only affecting you. Whatever you're angry with, they're not feeling that. You're the one that's taking on all that energy. You're the one that's boiling in it, and it's coming out of you in so many ways.
Do you tell your clients some of this too? Like, do you get into kind of the deeper, like suppressed emotions ever?
Yeah, if they want to go there. It just depends on how they enter into the treatment room. There's some people that are open books, and literally from the day they sit on my chair, it's like I've known them their whole life, because the way we talk, the conversations we have are very open. And then others, it kind of, it can take time, or they don't see this as necessarily a connection. A lot of people don't see the mind, body, spirit connection, or they just don't believe in it.
And that's okay.
Different strokes for different folks. Yeah, for sure. Some people believe in just straight science, and they're like, A, B, and C will get me to D. And it's like, maybe in time, but too, if you breathe, if you go on a walk.
I know. Just walk, get some sunlight. Anyways, no, I think that all is just so important in addressing the emotional aspect. I think is really what's going to create that radiant, glowing skin. But there's also other things, we can do as well that I kind of wanted to dive deeper into. And one thing I really appreciated about you, because I have never gotten Botox or filler. And it's not that I'm against it. I have this weird intuitive feeling that I will react to it. I just have this weird thing, like I'm going to react to it. And I was chatting with you about it, and you're like, well, I've never had Botox or filler either. And if you guys are looking and watching this, Rikki's skin is amazing. Like, I have no words. So tell me your thoughts on Botox and filler.
So it's not that I'm opposed to those things. It's just not every body is the right solution or needed at the time in which they're thinking they do need it. Botox, like some people, as you watch me talk, you see my forehead going up. Some people can't control that at all. Like literally they lay down on the table, and as soon as they start talking, their whole forehead is just jumping around, and it's making major movements where it's leaving deep set permanent lines. Those people, if those lines bother you, you do have to freeze the muscle. You will need to do the Botox. But there are other modalities that can soften those lines and still allow you to age gracefully without introducing any foreign substances into your body. So, but that I won't say I will never. I'm just trying to go as long as possible. I do believe that, when I look at pictures of my grandmothers, I'm like, they're absolutely gorgeous. And in no way, shape, or form did they use any Botox or fillers. But I do know that they were shaving their faces and using Vaseline on the, an occlusive. So, I mean, I think good moisturizing, healthy habits, lifestyle does play a part in good skin. Yeah.
Okay. So going into that, there's such a huge, fad with anti-aging. Nobody wants to age. Nobody wants the wrinkles, which I hear ya. I get it. But how much is aging hormonal versus environmental versus collagen decline? And I'm talking about like the fine lines and the wrinkles.
So with fine lines, a lot of that is like environmental or lifestyle related. It is easily correctable. Fine lines, a lot of times, is surface dehydration. So it could be using the wrong product, not using enough of a product, or even overusing your exfoliants, things along those lines. So it is taking a look at what you're doing and making small tweaks. A lot of times when clients come in is they're doing the right things. They have the right things in their regimen. It's just how they're applying or how much they're applying. So I think those types of things can be addressed easily. It doesn't mean that you have to go in and get this huge CO2 resurfacing to get rid of all these little fine lines that you have. First, try making some minor lifestyle adjustments. Yeah, always drink more water. Yes, topically. Yes, adding in a hydrator like a hyaluronic acid, making sure your skin is properly moisturized. How you use hyaluronic acid, for instance, it needs to be applied to damp skin, or because it can exacerbate dryness if it isn't applied to damp skin. So little tweaks like that for some people make a huge difference to using the right products for your skin type. I think it is really in this world of social media and all these influencers, they promote everything as if it's one size fits all. I think the best thing everyone can do is go get a consultation from a real esthetician, not from a beauty brand. Like Sephora, yes, they're lovely people. Don't get me wrong. I love the I love the people, the girlies and people at Sephora. I love the people at Credo Beauty, all of those places. They are truly talented, but they don't have the time or in some areas, expertise to look at your skin closely. And so I think going into an esthetician and getting your skin looked at and making sure you're on the right products for your skin type is important. And reviewing that with the seasons, because a lot of the stuff is temporary and it does happen with the seasons. Like right now we're in winter, so you will see more dehydration on your skin. You will see more the fine lines and things along those lines because we're running heaters and we're up in Tahoe over here in California, they're running up and down. It's dry. Yeah, we're coastal, but it's very dry. We don't have that relative humidity. So, introducing a humidifier into the home can make a huge difference for a lot of people. Yeah. So just small things and readjusting your skincare to the season I think you will see the decrease of fine lines. Now, wrinkles, those are permanent, more deep set lines. Wrinkles are things that we've, developed over time, whether it's from constant expression or with age, the loss of elasticity and collagen in the skin, and the fat layer underneath the skin starting to deplete itself with time. So that's why we want to do advanced treatments that help to stimulate those deeper layers to keep that type of aging from happening.
So what type of advanced treatments? Is that like lasers? Is that microneedling, red light therapy?
Well, it can be advanced, meaning, yes, collagen stimulating treatments like microneedling or laser, heat treatments like radiofrequency or old therapy. Those types of things do help a lot with overall prevention of wrinkles and aging. The sooner you start those things, ideally, we want to start those kind of practices before menopause. Really, I'm on this huge, I'm in my perimenopause phase right now.
I was actually going to bring that up about perimenopause. I was going to ask because, hormones are declining or fluctuating, and I'm curious how that could show up on the skin.
It does. Your skin shifts overnight. Literally, it's like I woke up one morning and I was like, who the hell is this? And I've always had, I was like, who's that haggard woman staring back at me?
Is it like puffiness? Is it fine lines?
Yeah, you lose plumpness. You start noticing the sagging, the loss of volume in the face, the glow, that your skin almost becomes depleted. In nature, you might notice yourself become more porous. A lot of people feel like their pores become more noticeable. So for myself, I did have some time because I injured myself last year, I had some time to figure some things out. Yes, I realized I was entering into perimenopause and my hormones were all over the place. That helped a lot, recognizing that immediately that, I don't have to run out and go get a facelift tomorrow. No, Rikki, just work on your internal health, balance out your hormones. And I think then my skin started to come back to its normal self. Yeah.
So, what did you do for your skin specifically when you noticed that hormonal shift or going through perimenopause?
So I've always or off and on used retinoids or tretinoin. So I became much more consistent with my tretinoin use and found a cadence that works for my skin type of at least every 2 days. More than that, my skin becomes sensitized. And once it goes into a sensitized state, then you will notice more lines and more wrinkles because your barrier is disrupted. So keeping the barrier healthy is always going to be the first line, I think, of any skin disorder, is making sure you have a healthy barrier. So just increasing moisturizer. At this point, I'm like a moisturizing junkie. It's applying, multiple layers if needed, and finding the right type for you. A lot of us are in something that might be too heavy and it can be cloggy for us. And it's just literally like fat sitting on top of your skin, not necessarily penetrating the skin. Also using gentle exfoliation consistently. For some people, they can tolerate acid, like a 10% acid daily, and that's enough for them. Other people can tolerate or need up into a 20% on a more consistent basis. So that, again, is going back to visiting your local esthetician and making sure you build in a regimen that works for you. All good health, even whether it's perimenopause or just regular skin or postmenopause, we do need to make sure we are cleansing properly to remove the environment from our skin. Night cleansing, I think, is the most important, because that's when we're in the restorative state, is at night. So you want to make sure you wash off that full day. I see skincare as kind of ritualistic too, because you want to remove the day. Like, you've been outside touching people, all kinds of energies and stuff. So as soon as you come in, people are like, oh, do I have to wait right before bed? No, come wash your face as soon as you walk through that door. You're more likely to do it.
I started doing that for whatever reason. I was just like, I need to get my skin just like, I'm done with work. I'm like, let me just wash the day away.
Yes, it makes a huge difference with how you too relax at night. I think so. Wash the day. So come home, remove everything, because in that process, some people's skin can tolerate a double cleanse. A lot of people's skin too, whether it's oil followed by a gentle cleanse or a gentle cleanse followed by something heavier, because you're more oily skin type. But take the time to really cleanse. It's like brushing your teeth. You need the full 2 minutes. It's not like splash water on my face, I'm done. No, spend the time to really work through your skin till you start to feel and notice changes and shifts. And so I think that's a good time just to check in. Also, gentle massage goes a long way. The consistency of massage does help a lot with blood flow, and that too helps with the skin as a whole. So taking that time, and then from there, if it's night, you're going to focus on your actives, which are going to be your tretinoin, or some people don't use retinols, and that is fine. Not everybody's skin can tolerate. Don't think that because this is the gold standard, it's needed by everyone. No, if it doesn't work for you, that's okay. There's so many other ways to get cellular turnover than retinoid. And a lot of people have this idea in their mind that retinoids are their exfoliant. Your retinoid is not your exfoliant. It is a cellular renewal. It's a misconception. Yeah. And so they're using retinoids. A lot of people are using some form of retinoid or retinol, or there's 50 different things now, Bocachul, all of these things. They're using something. But a lot of people aren't exfoliating properly. And so they have this dead skin layer built up on their face that then is going to accentuate your fine lines and wrinkles, and also look very dry. You're going to look very depleted and very, people are like, why is my skin not glowy? Because you don't exfoliate. Yeah. So we have to slough the skin from our whole body, because there's also a lot of clients that take care of their faces. But then as soon as I'm looking at their neck and chest and their arms as they're laying there, I'm like, you look, woo, it's a whole body thing, You have to treat yourself well from all levels of yourself. And so, yeah, making sure that you have a healthy exfoliating practice. I'm not the biggest fan of granule exfoliants. I know a lot of people like that scrubbing feel. I think that's fine, like once in a while, but that's not enough. I do feel that everyone should have some form of a chemical exfoliant that their skin can tolerate in their regimen.
So that would be a more gentler exfoliant. And then can they use that daily or still kind of space it out? Hey, gal. If this podcast is resonating with you, please share it on your socials and tag me. My Instagram handle is in the show notes. I love seeing this work reach the women who need it most.
So daily exfoliants, I feel, should be in like a serum form. So something that it's going to apply and stay on your skin, not something that you're just like a lot of people think because they have a glycolic wash that's exfoliating. Yes, but it's a temporary quick wash. It's not really doing the same thing as like a serum.
So what type of serum?
I personally use Mandelic for a regular. It's gentle, it's mild, it's effective for a lot of skin types. And most people can tolerate it on a daily basis, whether it's in the 10% to 15%. A lot of people that carry like redness, like works really well for them. It helps with a lot of skin disorders like rosacea, and it does help with acne as well. It has a great response on inflammation. Two, it can help with pigment inhibiting. So if you're someone that experiences post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, that is a good one. If you have good general skin, 10% a cosmetic level is good. It's fine for you. But if you're someone that struggles with rosacea, like a more prevalent, consistent, persistent rosacea, or acne that's pretty stubborn, you might want to go to your doctor and get something prescribed in the 20% realm to really address it. That's where, you go into your derm every year is important too, for not only, just to have them double check everything, general skin health. They aren't the best place to go get a regimen built. So that's why I do say go see your esthetician for that. For your general overall, just mold checks, make sure there's no cancer and those kind of things. Yeah, you should go to your derm for that.
Such a good point. So for anti-aging and addressing fine lines, it sounds like kind of changing your skincare based on the seasons, more hydration in the drier seasons, wherever that is for you, doing an exfoliant to kind of get rid of that dead skin so the moisture can penetrate. And then anything else?
SPF. Sunscreen, you have to wear sunscreen. You have to. Doesn't matter what color you are, you have to. Doesn't matter if you have all the melanin in the world. Even if you are a hermit and never leave your home, there are now things in our homes that can actually be pigment causing light and cause issues. So I SPF every day during the day, whether you're inside or out. Or if you're someone that is a big screen person and you spend a lot of time in front of your screen and you notice that pigmentation is starting to come into your skin and you're wondering, like, I never go outside. Why am I having pigment? Because the blue light, they're starting to find can cause pigment in some people. So that is something. Blue light filters on your screens. And yeah, wearing SPF, keeping some SPF next to your desk. I think a lot of us still have in the mindset and think of sunscreen from when we were a kid. And we think like, oh, we're going to be a white cast and I'm going to look like Casper the Ghost. Or for me, I would look like a lavender lady. Like, I'm like, are people looking at me because I'm cute or are people looking at me because I look insane right now?
SPF can give you a glow, you guys. The right SPF. People have asked me, they're like, what's on your skin? I'm like, it's SPF. What's the one you guys sell? Because that's the one I still use.
We sell Ulta MD. It's a great one. We also sell Tizo, which I love for indoor, outdoor play. And then we have our house aesthetics.
It gives me a nice little glow, I'm like feeling good leaving the house with my SPF.
That's what I'm like. SPF, I think, has also become, for a lot of people, the tinted SPFs have become like their daytime makeup and is giving a lot of great coverage. And I think that goes to saying if you work on your good general skin health, you can be minimal and I think really let your natural self shine through and feel confident in that.
So I know we may have touched on this a little bit, but curious what some of the biggest mistakes you see when people are in their 30s and 40s in terms of skincare. I know you said not using it in exfoliant. Is there anything not wearing SPF?
Yeah, I would say a lot of things, it's damaging their barrier. So over exfoliation, they've damaged their barrier. I'm trying to overcorrect versus because we want instant results. Nothing is instant except for shaving, except for dermaplaning. You get an instant result from that, and that's not for everybody. But I think we are so used to, because of what we see on social media and on TV and whatnot, we assume that those results were achieved in one session. And I wish there was more regulation around that people had to be much more transparent about what they're doing to achieve their results, because I've seen so many people thinking like, if I just keep scrubbing this spot, it's going to go away. And it's like, no, you're making it worse. No, you're actually causing more pigmentation in your skin from being too abrasive. Yeah, just assuming you don't need a certain product because you're of a certain ethnicity or something along those lines. No, we all need close to the same things, but there are minor tweaks and what you might get a better result with. Certain products do work better with certain ethnicities.
So barrier protection, like what is the best thing to do for that? Is it still exfoliating? Is it moisturizing?
It's moisturizing. Yeah, moisturizing is always going to help support that barrier function. Always tell clients, if you don't know what to do, go into a simple regimen. If you feel like your skin is literally freaking out, like you're all of a sudden seeing breakouts, you're seeing patchiness, redness, things that weren't there, the best thing is to go into a mild regimen. Don't start trying to throw the kitchen sink at it, because that is where you will literally end up. You could completely destroy your skin and it could be hard to even get it back to where it was before. So going into a simple regimen of a gentle cleanser that's hydrating and that's not going to be stripping, and then hydrating serum like a hyaluronic acid can help in that process as well, with something soothing along those lines, and then focusing on good moisturizing. And a good moisturizer, because a lot of people don't like heavy, but you need to make sure that your moisturizer does have ceramides in it. Ceramides are the support of the barrier function. And so we want to make sure we're using moisturizers that have those in them. Yes, the aqua or the water gels feel lovely and nice. And I think those are great in the summertime, especially in more humid climates, or for people that are really oily, like true oily skin types. Not because you are a little shiny, but you are huge pores with literally, there are people wake up in the morning and their oil is present on their skin, and they can wipe their skin and see the oil on, it's Kleenex. Those people, that's fine. But most of us are not that. Most of us think we're oily. We want to be oily, but we're not. You're probably dry and your skin is overproducing oil. And you need more moisture.
Need more moisturizer. It's like an oxymoron. It's like, nope. So what are some of your favorite moisturizers? Do you recommend getting a moisturizer and a face oil, or tell us a little bit more?
I do like Elta MD's moisturizers because they're like gel and moisturizer had a baby together. So it's really a nice formulation that really sinks into the skin well. And the skin, I think, receives it well, where you don't have that layer of feeling oily or greasy. So moisturizers by them are really nice. But if we're just at the drugstore, I really like La Roche. La Roche is a great one. Just their double. If you're acne prone, the double repair. If you're not acne prone, the triple repair. If you're dry, those are, great drugstore brands. I think a lot of the brands that are dermatology recommended, they're dermatology recommended for a reason, and we should respect science. I have a very strong background in clean beauty. I went to Aveda and I worked with Credo for a long time. So I do believe in clean beauty, but clean isn't necessarily the right thing for everything in some people's regimens. So if you're dealing with more skin disorders, like a lot of those naturals can actually be more irritating to you. And so I think that's something that people need to recognize too. Again, finding the right products for your actual skin type. But oils, yes, I think oils are great for some people. And there's the right kind of oil for everybody. Some oils do lean into that are much more pore clogging, like avocado, coconut. Those guys olive oil can be too heavy for oily skin types. But someone that is very dry or mature skin, they can slap all they want on their skin of that. And their skin's going to really like it. Where someone that might be oily, it's a fine line with introducing oil at all for some people. Even as a oil cleanse, it just literally builds up in their pores so much easier because they're dealing with other dead skin buildup.
Curious your thoughts on Clear Stem. I think that's what it's called, that skincare company. It's like all over social media. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's Clear Stem. They seem pretty like medically based. I was just curious your thoughts on it, because it seems like their products are pretty legit. So I was just curious.
So is it something similar to like a product brand like Curology or Muesli, like where they build systems for people? Like,
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. And they have like supplements for skincare and everything. So I was just curious.
Do they have you review with a dermatologist first also? Or
No. I don't think maybe. I actually don't know.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of brands out there now. See, that's the hard thing too, is that people throw out Bland to me and I'm like, I don't know what that one is. And they're like, oh, it's all the trend right now. It's like, is it? I'm like, oh, I missed that. There are a lot of good brands. What is more important? I think if everyone takes the time to learn ingredients and learn how products are, like how the ingredients lists are structured, then you can shop with confidence easier than actually looking at the brand. So you want to see what's in the product, and then that lets you know, is this going to give me what I need for my skin type? Yeah. Yeah. I would say ingredient knowledge is something that has been way more helpful to me than learning the actual brands themselves, because they come and go so quickly and they change their ingredients all the time. So looking at those ingredients is important because you can fall in love with something. There have been brands that people are like tried and true for years and years and have never caused them problems. But because some of these larger conglomerates are coming in and buying them, they've changed up their product formulations. And it's gone from something that you love to something that actually is assaulting your skin on a daily basis.
Okay, so like we want ceramides in a moisturizer. We want actives in a serum for some, if you want to do like a light exfoliation. And then did you say a cleanser with like hyaluronic acid or glycolic acid?
Yeah, no, we want to stay away from active cleansers. Yes, you can have them in your arsenal, but I don't think it's necessarily the best thing for everyone's daily cleanse to be an active, because there are times that you do just need to focus on supporting your barrier function and have no active as part of the regimen. So always in an arsenal, I think you need a gentle cleanser, which would be like a gentle hydrating cream cleanser for most people, something very light, or a foaming cleanser.
So there's cream, gel, and then foam cleansers and oil. So gel cleanser does that have more actives in it typically?
It's hard to say because not all gel cleansers have actives in them. It's reading what the ingredients, it's knowing that what the ingredients do. Like so many people became obsessed with salicylic acid because it's trending. Glycolic, she was just trending. Those girls are not nice to everybody. Like I kind of put them in the mean girl category.
Small doses. It's like the annoying people, the small doses.
And, you know, some people can tolerate them on a high level. Leave that for them, but most of us cannot.
If you're listening to this podcast, you probably can't because your nervous system is sensitive.
Yes. So your skin literally, it's like getting stripped by using that. And so a lot of people think because they heard from an influencer or whoever that, oh, I need to use the salicylic acid every day because I have a couple bumps on my face or I want to resurface. And then all of a sudden they have no barrier and they have 50 billion bumps all over their face. Barrier is the new thing. I remember growing up, it's like came up in a time where you destroyed the barrier. Like everything we did for breakouts. I remember having acne as a kid and my face would be on fire from half of the things I was using on it, like the Clarisol and the Sea Breeze and all of the benzoyl peroxide all combined at once. Like that's insane.
The Neutrogena beads thing that you would
be just scrubbing and scrubbing. My God.
I stripped my skin. Like, I think that's what caused my hyperpigmentation, to be honest, which sucks. But here we are.
No, but in your mind, we're told like, oh, I got to scrub that away. I got to scrub the black, like I got to scrub it to get it go. And really the scrubbing is what can cause pigmentation more, as you were saying, more pigmentation on a lot of people.
So I guess like we kind of talked about trends just now, but any other trends that make you cringe, make you want to pull your hair out, scream?
Home devices. I mean, I love the LED lights. I think they're great, but I think the face mask revolution was just so intense, and we jump on trends so fast before we see all of the research from them. Understand that a lot of things that come out, the trend is brand researched. It's not medical researched. And by the time the medical community catches up with the trend, the damage is already done on a lot of people. So what they're seeing now in like the red light mask, yeah, they're great. They work for a lot of people. But do you sanitize your mask? It's probably increasing your acne. Oh, do you have melasma? Well, it could actually be causing problems. It could actually be intensifying your melasma. That direct light on a lot of people, some people, is not okay. So now they're like, oh, the domes in a dome form. Or how's your melasma? Is your melasma hormonal or is your melasma heat related? You know, there's so many little things that it's like we don't know, because a lot of people's melasma is hormonal related. So that won't affect. But some people's melasma is triggered by heat or light, sun.
Mine's triggered by heat and sun. Well, maybe both. hormonal, and I have an LED face mask. So, right. I haven't used it in a while.
People are cut, yeah. And then too, we make these huge investments and then they live in our closets forever. And then you never see them. So the domes are becoming more, the panels, because they become multi-use, you can use them on other parts of the body. Red light does work really well for inflammation. So it is something that helps too. We're talking about, it helps regulate sleep. There's so many benefits from it. Plus your skin.
But so many people have melasma and might be unknowingly using it, especially if it is heat induced. I feel like most melasma is heat induced, like from the sun.
Yeah, or from the treatment. So again, on these trends and fads that are going through, because professionals aren't being transparent with their clients or properly vetting their clients and before they do certain procedures, I've corrected a lot of people's skin because they received a treatment that did all of a sudden induce melasma in them, or they didn't do the proper pre-care because, yeah, a lot of the offices, they aren't going through, are you on this? Making sure you're on the proper pre-regimen before even starting the treatments.
Well, that's actually why I first started seeing you, is because of my melasma at the time, because I had just moved to San Francisco, actually. And so I don't really know what totally caused it. I always knew I had it, but it flared after being in the sun one day. But I was also in not a great relationship at the time. So I think it was literally both things.
The perfect storm.
The perfect storm of that's when I was just about to move. I was having doubts. And then I go in the sun and bam, I wake up the next morning and I have a stash on my melasma stash. And I'm like, oh my God. Obviously, we are our own worst critics. And people be like, Stephanie, I can barely see it. And I know, but I was like, but I can see it. This is terrible. So anyways, that's originally why I started seeing you in San Francisco. And we did some microneedling and it's really calmed down with the treatments we've done. I haven't done microneedling in a long time, but I need to go back and do it. So just a quick, some quick tips for melasma. Obviously it's SPF. You have to apply SPF, wear a hat in the sun. I became very diligent about that, but anything else?
I'm using a melanin suppressant of some form. The high or the gold standard is hydroquinone. A lot of people have their own beliefs around hydroquinone. So I personally go on and off of it myself, and I haven't experienced any issues with it. But it's not something I use consistently either. But people that have very aggressive melasma, a scent on hydroquinone can definitely create almost like a melanin shield underneath the skin. And then from there, we can start removing the pigmentation. And it doesn't allow new melanocytes to move forward and up, which literally puts a shield so you won't get future pigmentation. But also azelaic has a similar melanin inhibitor property, and it doesn't have as much controversy around it. A lot of people don't like hydroquinone because it's misused in a lot of countries. It's used for skin bleaching, and there's been linked to it causing cancer in lab rats. So, to be on something and then have to come off to detox your liver makes a lot of people uncomfortable. So azelaic is a great alternative to that. Again, it can put that shield underneath or help move the pigmentation through quicker if you do experience it. Mandelic also has that ability also. The higher the percentage of those, the better. So 20% azelaic or 15% mandelic will give you more of that melanin shield. But definitely getting into one of those forms helps. Alpha-arbutin is another one.
Ooh, good to know. But some people who have already sensitive skin may not be able to tolerate azelaic acid, or in the higher quantities?
In the higher quantities, in the lower quantities, they can. Then that's where it's a balance of SPF, azelaic, and then doing treatments and office treatments. Staying away from heat-induced treatments, radio frequency, your thermage, those kind of things. Alt therapy might not be for you. Fibroblasts, not for you. Those things will leave long-term pigmentation that it becomes a really rocky road in correction. I had one client that was looking for collagen stimulating treatments, and she got lured in by social media to do fibroblasts. And the technician did not properly vet her and recognize the fact that she did have melasma. And so fibroblasts is like a system, and it literally is like tiny dots are all over her face. All over her face were tiny dots on her face and neck in the pattern in which they did the treatment. And that lasted with her. It took us a couple years to correct it. A lot of money too to correct it, because a lot of these, good practitioners will offer you to help you correct the process, or they have insurance that will help you to be able to correct this. A lot of what we see on social media, I don't know if they're properly regulated, if they're properly insured, or if they care to help you. They will take the ding of the one bad review because they're receiving so many other things coming through social media that they don't care.
That's just so unfortunate, because you're already, not feeling great about one thing, and then you're getting this treatment that is very expensive, and then bam, it just makes everything worse, especially the melasma. So we really have to find a good practitioner. I consider you guys know what you're doing. Yeah, there's a medical esthetician is the person to go to in my mind for any type of treatment. So that's really unfortunate, but I'm glad you were there to help her. So, I'm all about the basics. So, we're kind of getting close to an hour here, but I'm all about the basics, simplifying things. So if you could pick 3 things that everybody could do, I know this is hard based on skin, just if we could walk away with 3 things we can do to optimize our skin, the foundation of our skin, what would you say?
That you could do at home for yourself? Well, SPF. Wear your SPF every day, whether it's sunny or not sunny. Most people have received their most significant sun damage on a cloudy, overcast day. So SPF every day. There's no point in you doing active treatments, using advanced products, any of those things if you're not going to wear your SPF. That's pointless. It's pointless to invest in yourself if you're not going to wear your SPF. And then 2, it's finding some form of cellular renewal product that your skin can tolerate, whether it's Botox or as advanced as tretinoin, but introducing that in earlier than later. Huge difference. Clients that introduce that in their 20s, when I see them now in their 80s, they look younger than some of you in your 30s and 40s because they take good care of their skin. Yeah, it's the actual skin. If we were just looking at the skin closely, not looking at the full face, but just taking pictures of the actual skin, you'd be surprised with people that have been consistently using vitamin C, tretinoin, and SPF. You see it. I see it in my 80-year-old clients. I see it in the people, and I see it in those that don't.
Okay. Yeah. Vitamin C is so important. It just glowing skin, brightening.
It gives a great antioxidant protection. It works in conjunction with your SPF. It's a good one. Now, if you're looking for something to correct pigmentation, no, vitamin C will not necessarily do that for everyone. Correct sun damage and photo damage, but if your pigmentation comes from other areas, that might not be your pigment corrector. But it does help your general skin health in so many ways. Helps with collagen, and it does do a lot. In the right percentage. It needs to be 15 to 20%. That's another one of those guys that has to be in the right dose or right percentage, dosage, whatever, because it's not effective otherwise, or minimally effective otherwise. Yeah.
So we need the right dosing. So it's ingredients. We have to read the labels, we have to read nutrition labels, and then making sure we're getting enough of the ingredient.
And trust the process. Slow and steady will run your race. A sprint is not going to get you the result that you want, but slow and steady and just staying consistent and trusting that you are getting the result, even though you might not see it that next day. Trust me,
that emotional awareness we were talking about before. Just trust the process. It's never linear. You might have a breakout in between. Your body's recalibrating. I think that is so important to consider.
You're purging. If you're purging internally, just expect that purge to come out of the skin as well. So if you are going through whatever difficulties in your life, just know that, it can come out in dryness or breakout or redness. But disruption definitely will show
just
itself.
Every feeling we have hopefully is temporary, so is a flare, So I think that's just such a good reminder. I need to remind myself that.
If you're flaring, hibernate. It's okay to go inside and take it easy and do the same thing to your skin. Give yourself grace. I think that we're our worst enemies, and a lot of times we do start picking on ourselves, literally, physically, and it's the time that you need to give yourself some grace. Smile at yourself. Yeah.
Give yourself some more support.
Yeah, compliment yourself. At least give yourself one thing. Give yourself a positive to every negative that you're throwing at yourself.
Seriously, your skin will thank you and it will show. All right, I have one last question before we end. What do you think makes the biggest difference to get that radiant, glowing skin out of everything we talked about, or if we didn't talk about it?
There's like exfoliation, like whether it's physical, so shaving, dermaplaning, those kind of guys give you instant glow on some skin types. Of course, if you're dealing with cystic acne or inflammation, not the best thing, but those do give instant gratification. You will see a glow after shaving and doing a light exfoliation and hydrating your skin really well. You wake up the next morning, you want to glow. That's when people are like, how are you glowing? I shave and then I put some moisturizer on with an occlusive. So Aquaphor, Vaseline, or oil that your skin likes. Wake up in the morning and I'm glowing. And then put my SPF on when I leave. And yeah, you're good to go.
And you don't wash your face and like with cleanser, right? No.
No, unless after like a heavy workout, yes, I will do a gentle light cleanse. But no, waking up in the morning, there's no need to cleanse unless you are a super heavy sweater or again, if you're a severe oily skin type, acne. But for a lot of people, cleansing that close together and using surfactant actually will exacerbate dryness in the skin. So no need. If you feel like you want to remove residue, you can do so with a toner. So swiping through the skin with a toner for a lot of people will
But if you
help them
do
remove.
work out, it's like a gentle cleanser after you work out, right?
Yeah, especially if you're doing a sweat-induced workout, going to hot yoga or doing a heavy cardio, because there is bacteria in sweat, we do want to get that bacteria off because in time that can eventually become an issue. And wash your stuff, like your equipment, this kind of stuff. This is where a lot of those strange sabotagers, I call these our secret sabotagers, earphones, headbands, hats, scarves. We pull things out of storage and don't think twice about the last time we used it and how many times we used it.
Touch our phone and then rub our face. Like there is gross shit on your phone. And then you're just like touching your face.
Touching it all up to your face, sunglasses, glasses wearers. You got like clean around your rims. Those kind of little things make a huge difference because those are a big part of our reoccurring breakouts, our habitual habits or things that in our day-to-day.
I love it. Thank you so much for coming on. Where can everyone find you if they want to come in for a treatment?
Yes, I am in San Francisco in Pacific Heights at 2300 Sutter Street, but you can go on our website at metaestheticsrx.com. And yes, you can book an appointment through there, and we're happy to help you in any way, shape, or form. But we do believe in skin health first, and then we can definitely help you figure out what path you want to go on.
You're in a comfy chair. They give you this blanket. You're like, it's luxury over there.
We have the most comfortable chairs in San Francisco.
I highly, highly recommend. So everybody book your appointments with Rikki. She's amazing. Thank you so much for coming on. Such a pleasure. And let me know if you guys have any questions. Feel free to send me a DM at the Inner Script Pod on Instagram. So good to chat with you guys. And I will see you guys next week. If you want to connect with like-minded women and dive deeper into these conversations, join my Patreon community. There's a free option, and it's where we can talk about each episode together. The link is in the show notes, and I can't wait to see you there.